we're 20 feet away from that sign. I just want to go read that sign.
Yes,
and
sir.
all of a sudden you're putting your hand out trying to physically stop me from walking.
So I told you that I would take you to the sign so you could read it, but
I don't need to be taken. It's right here
by yourself.
Sure, I can
are
watch.
On the installation, sir. So you're gonna end up being detained.
How am I going to be detained? I'm walking up to this sign right here.
You're on
10
property.
Look.
You are trespassing on the military installation.
I'm not trespassing. Your sergeant just admitted to me that there's no demarcation line.
The demarcation line is back there. You are on
so
the
look
property,
what it says.
So you are subject.
It is unlawful to enter this area without permission.
Yes,
enter this area going forward from this sign. Yes.
Line is actually up there.
I'm going to challenge on that.
Okay.
How's it going, guys? Amagansett Press coming to you today from the United States Air Force Base in Aurora, Colorado. It's the BUCKLEY Air Force Base, and I am out with watching the Watchmen today, and we're gonna take a look around. We're here at one of the entry gates, and we're gonna stick around here on public property out on the sidewalk and see if these folks at the Air Force Base honor and respect our right to take photos and video in public and from publicly accessible areas of public property. Beautiful day out today. Time and temperature check. Today is Wednesday, December 18th at 11:46 a.m. Mountain Time, and it is 52 degrees. Beautiful day. I'm not sure where their demarcation line is, so we'd have to try to figure that out. But so far, I haven't seen anything that says any restricted area signs, no trespassing, no public access. So I believe we should be able to go up to this black chain link fence that says gate closed on it. Yeah, so it appears to me like we're allowed to go up to this gate. Okay, so let's see. It is unlawful to enter this area without permission of the installation commander. While on this installation, all personnel and the property under their control are subject to search. This area is patrolled by military working dog teams. So outside of this gate, we're fine. So we're just gonna hang out here for a few minutes and see how it goes. Let's see, welcome to BUCKLEY Air Force Base. Mississippi Avenue Gate is open 24/7, 365. Good, how you doing?
Good. How's the day? Pretty easy day.
Doing well. Yeah, it's nice out today.
Yes, I'm Aaron Morrison with the 460 Scooter.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Aaron Morrison, 460 Scooter.
Airman Morrison.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a badge number or a serial number?
A badge number? No, sir.
No? Okay.
So, what are you out here for?
Can I just get your name and badge number?
Sembrano.
Sembrano?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a badge number?
Negative, sir.
Serial number? ID number?
No, sir.
You don't have any ID
No,
number?
it's just Officer Sembrano.
Yeah, well, when you have an ID number, come back and talk to me because I need to identify who I'm speaking with. Yeah, anybody can buy those uniforms anywhere, you know. Yeah. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can I get your name and badge number?
Can't do that, unfortunately.
You can't do that?
No.
All right, well then you guys have a good day. I can't speak to you. Doesn't want to identify for some reason. So these guys don't want to identify themselves for whatever reason. I mean, we got a name out of 2 out of 3.
How you guys doing?
Are you guys familiar with your policy on identifying yourselves?
How you guys doing?
I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of a conversation with the officer that was here.
How are you guys doing? Doing all right?
What's your name and badge number?
I'm Sergeant Gustafson.
Sergeant Gustafson, do you have a badge number?
Off 7469.
So how do you have a badge number and none of these other guys do?
Everybody does.
Okay, so I need to get name and badge numbers or else
So
I
you're
have
on,
nothing
you're
to say.
on federal installation at this time.
Like I said, I need name and badge numbers of who I'm speaking to, otherwise the conversation's over. I'm happy to speak to you guys, but you need to identify yourselves properly the way you're supposed to. Right?
Can we help you out today?
By identifying yourself would be a start.
I'm Officer
And
Palmer.
then I would be happy to speak to you.
Did we do something to aggravate you, or?
So, no, do I seem aggravated?
No.
Oh, okay, so you're Officer Palma,
Yes, sir.
and what is your serial number, ID number?
5115.
Okay. And now do you want to tell me what yours is? Because your sergeant told me that everybody's got one. After you told me you didn't have an ID number. You're approaching somebody in your official capacity as a law enforcement officer, and I'm just asking you to identify yourself, and I'd be happy to...
5113.
Was that so difficult? Thank you very much. Okay, so now how can I help you gentlemen out?
I already asked you that. You're on
No, I'm asking
you're
you
on
how I
federal
can help.
installation.
That federal restricted access is after this gate.
You're in the inbound lane on a federal installation.
No, I'm actually in the median.
How can we help you out?
I don't need any help. I'm doing good.
What do you need?
Nothing. Need to just be able to carry on with what I was doing, unimpeded. Would be a start. Just recording anything I could see.
We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, no, and I told you, once you identify yourself, I'd be happy to speak to you. So, I seem like I'm offended about something. I'm offended about the fact that you guys came out here. This officer lied to me and told me he didn't have an ID number.
I feel like we're
And you
being
guys
pretty
were...
professional.
I don't think not identifying yourself is professional at all, so I'd have to disagree with you. Now we've gotten to a point where you have identified yourself after being almost forced to. So yeah, no,
Forced
so
to?
we're beyond. Well, your sergeant came out and told me that everybody's got an ID number. So anyway, well, I don't want to argue semantics with you. I'm not looking to give you a hard time. How can I
Not
help
either.
you?
How can we help you out?
I already answered your question. I don't need any help. So I'm asking you if you guys need any help. Anything you need from me?
Yeah. Sergeant Johnson, you good for a second? Yeah. Thank you.
You're Officer Johnson?
I am not Officer Johnson, I'm Tech Sergeant Johnson.
Tech Sergeant Johnson. I apologize for that. You earned your stripes and you deserve to be called what you're... Yeah, Tech Sergeant Johnson. Do you have an ID number?
Just my innocent, and I'm not going to get that out.
All the other officers gave me their ID numbers.
Can't do that.
Okay. So that prohibits us from having a friendly conversation then.
Roger that. Understand?
What's the issue with identifying yourself?
There's necessarily an issue, but I'm not going to get into it.
Does your policy require you to identify yourself, especially when you're acting in your official capacity as a law enforcement officer?
Yes, to a certain extent, yes.
Okay, so do you want to do that?
We've already done that.
You've identified yourself as Officer Johnson, or sorry,
With
Tech
460
Sergeant Johnson.
That's all
There
I'm gonna
could
go.
there could be 15 Tech Sergeant Johnsons. Johnson's a
correct.
very common last name.
It is.
So your ID number is, you have an ID number so that you can identify yourself to the public.
We're not going to go into that.
All right, well then, that's where the conversation ends.
Roger that.
You know, you guys got to realize, you come out and kind of shift what's going on here to make it feel like I'm giving you a hard time. I think you gave me a hard time. So, all you got to do is come out and identify yourself. Would you call the sheriffs? You got them on the way? They'll tell you that when they get here, you'll see that they're going to identify themselves without hesitation. It's a simple thing.
Okay.
Are we violating any of your rules right now? Don't want to answer that?
Don't have to, sir.
Where's the sergeant? Where was your sergeant?
My sergeant's right there.
Oh, there you go. So are we breaking any of your rules or policies right now?
So you're currently on federal installation. What's your name?
I didn't give it.
Okay, I gave you mine. I thought that was the
Right.
deal. I
Well,
give you mine. We're gonna
No,
have a
no, no.
conversation.
Yeah, I said I'd have a conversation with you. I never
Okay.
said I'd identify
Okay,
myself. I
cool.
don't know. But,
Let me know when you give me your name, and I'll talk to you.
all right, so I'll just go back to doing what I was doing.
All responding members to Echo 15 Act, FCY, notify, and contact.gov.
You guys can film.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't hear the beginning of the conversation.
Hi, I'm Investigator Santiago with Buckley Air Force Base here.
Investigator Santiago, do you have an ID number or serial number?
So my ID number is actually Sierra 8052.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
one of the
that.
investigators here at Buckley Air Force Base.
Okay.
Just coming out here to let you guys know that it is your First Amendment right to go ahead and film, but it has to be on public property over there at the edge. So if you want to walk with me, I'll take you over there.
Well, my understanding is that, and just to have a
Yeah.
friendly conversation with you, since you were willing to identify yourself, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Up until this gate, where all of your rules are posted, saying anybody going past this gate is subject to being searched, possessions be searched, it's right there on the fence. So on this side of the fence, that doesn't apply. This is public access.
So actually there's a pillar, and I know sometimes it can be kind of difficult to see, but there's a pole that's in the grass there.
Okay.
With a orange dot there.
Okay.
You have to actually be on the other side of that.
A pole with an orange
Yeah,
dot.
I'll take you over
Yeah,
there.
let's go take a look at it. Where's your demarcation line?
So that is actually the demarcation line for the installation here.
Okay.
So, like I said, you guys are free to film, but we just ask that you do it on that other side.
Now, are you, do you work for the same department as these guys do?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
I'm just
are-
one of the investigators for the installation.
So are you one of the higher ups?
So I would say I'm one. So essentially, with the way the military has it, is we have an investigation section,
Okay.
which is essentially the equivalent of a detective branch. For
Okay.
the installation.
Well, the reason I ask is because a couple of these guys, not the sergeant here, but a couple of these guys refused to identify themselves when they
Okay.
came out and were talking to me.
Okay.
That's a scary thing.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
I believe it's probably in your policy where they have to identify themselves. You're probably required to give name and serial number, ID number,
And I can
correct?
go ahead and I can address that.
I wish you would, yeah.
Once we get you to a safe place where you can go ahead and record, and I'll be
And let
sure
me
to
just
address
point,
that
and let me
situation.
just point out to you real quick. You guys might be wondering. See, a lot of times you think to yourselves that we're here to agitate or cause some sort of a problem, okay? But what we just did was uncover a weakness in your security, because you have security officers who are not identifying themselves to the public. Okay, so that's the reason we're here.
Fair.
Okay, so
absolutely
we're here
get
for
that.
a productive purpose. We're not here for any nefarious activities.
Everybody's learning today, yeah?
Yeah.
Myself included. I just turned 50 yesterday. I'm getting an education every day.
My birthday was on
birthday.
Tuesday.
Excellent. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I have a feeling you're a lot younger than I am.
I don't know.
Well, since you said that, what, 40?
I'm 29.
Let's see. I would have said 20 something until
Yeah.
you said I don't know.
I appreciate
You
it.
fooled me.
My body feels old.
See, now this is it. You guys are smiling. Your shoulders went down. We relaxed. That's where it's supposed to be, man. I mean, you know, you guys came out of there. You got to admit, you guys came out of the gate like we were looking shady. And I'm wearing a bright red vest, so you guys could see me. I'm not trying to secret myself. We're not hiding. This is my son. And we're all taking some video on publicly accessible property. That's all we're doing. It's no reason for everybody to get nervous.
So initially, you know, we don't know what your intentions are, right? We
Right.
don't know who you are.
Right.
So we'll come out, we'll talk to you. I see you're not a threat.
Right.
We just want to make sure that you are aware of where you can and where you can't record. And I want to make sure that we're not violating your rights and allow you to record.
I
on
get
your
that,
own free will.
but some rapport with the general public
Absolutely.
could be a very good de-escalation technique.
Yeah.
And them coming out of the gate the way they did could escalate things to a place that it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
And once things start going up, it's hard to get them to start coming back down. So that's the reason, when that starts like that, that's the reason I get standoffish and I'm not willing to have a conversation, because I don't want to be accused of instigating anything, agitating anything, because that's where these conversations usually wind up going.
Gotcha.
And then the police get here, and then you guys in a corner somewhere without the benefit of me hearing tell them things I didn't even do,
Right.
or that I seemed like I was being aggressive. And then a couple of the guys even said to me, "Why are you getting upset?" I wasn't getting upset. I was talking just like I'm talking to you now.
Okay.
So it's, you know, demeanor and decorum is very important,
Absolutely.
and it'll avoid a lot of problems for you
Yeah,
guys.
most definitely.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all.
But I just want to let you guys know that you are free to film.
So you
from
want to
this
show me
point.
this red dot?
So
Where-
actually, it's this line right here. I know it can be kind of convoluted.
Not on the sidewalk over there too. I could be wrong.
So you're saying this is your demarcation line?
Right. This is our demarcation line right here. So if you look directly across the street, there's also another pole just like this.
Wouldn't you normally have a line on the
So
ground?
not every installation has that. I know some do, but not every installation does.
See, another part of what we do is, and again, not to give you a hard, you've been very professional. You've been very cordial, and I appreciate you as much as, or more than you appreciate what we're doing. But part of what we're doing here is because, see, there's a lot of things where a lot of times, and I get it, for you guys, in order for you to avoid situations, like the Supreme Court ruled that police officers are allowed to lie during an investigation.
Right.
So you're allowed to say things and ask things and do things that aren't necessarily accurate to try to further your investigation and get to where you're going, right? Yeah. So anybody could come out here and tell me that this pole's a demarcation line. Another day I could come back and somebody could tell me the curb is the demarcation line, right? All I can go by, what I'm seeing is that the signage saying that from this point going forward you're subject to search.
Right.
That's your demarcation line. This is public access.
Right. Yeah. And so, and I totally understand that. And I understand your viewpoint, and that's why we're all being educated here today.
Right.
And I'll let you guys know this point is where you don't want to pass beyond, okay? Because that's where you can now be.
Well, but I don't know about that. Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir.
You're positive?
Yes, sir.
So why wouldn't they have signs here say, in this situation, you would have signs, you have a post here.
Yes, sir.
So you'd have a sign here saying, from this point on, you are subject to search. That sign is on that black chain link fence.
Right. So that is an issue that has been brought up, and that's something that is in the works. But I'm just here to let you know that this is the demarcation line.
Well,
so you are free to film on this side.
With all due respect, though, like I get that's what you're telling me.
Yes, sir.
But that's just what you're telling me. What the fact is, that's a subjective opinion.
Yes, sir.
Because this is just a post, right? You could say it's the tree. You could say it's the speed limit sign.
There's actually a red line over there with a red dot on the ground, like you were referring to earlier.
Right.
I just went and verified. It's still there.
Well, shouldn't that be on your entry side?
I don't know. I'm not.
Well, so what?
All right. So I walk down here with you.
Right.
Let's just go look at the signs real quick.
So,
and you could come with me, and we'll go together.
And that's an issue that we can route up, and we can bring that up to the appropriate channels.
Okay.
So that way, in the future, if you do want to come out here and exercise your rights, it is something that.
Well, let me tell you something, and it's even beyond me or anybody else exercising their rights.
Right.
The reason that I think it's very important for you to have a very clear boundary is, how do you enforce a boundary if you don't know where it is?
Right. And that's
and different investigators and different sergeants and different commanders and different people in that authority position could have different opinions of where that line is.
Yeah.
And that could create some serious problem and liability.
So, what is it that you necessarily wanted? Are you talking about the warning sign?
Echo 1.
No, the signs on the gate up there.
Okay.
Can you give me 1 second? I just gotta.
Even your welcome sign to the
from earlier.
Okay, absolutely.
If you got 1 minute.
Yeah, if you don't mind hanging out here.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just walk up to the gate right here. I'll stay on the outside, and that way, when you're done with him, we can just look at the sign.
Let's just hang out here. Because remember, at the end of the day, right now, the property line is back there.
Well, that's what you're telling me. I want to establish that with you, and if that's where it is, that's where it is.
It absolutely is.
All right.
100% it is.
I want to look at the signage with you.
So, and we will do that. If you don't mind just hanging out right here, I'll be back momentarily.
What are you afraid I'm going to do if I just walk up to that sign?
It's just a matter of the fact that now you're on the military installation, and essentially, like right now, I'm escorting you, right? I'm with you.
Okay. So why don't we just finish what we're doing real quick? I'll get out of your hair, and then you can carry on with the sarge here.
We absolutely will. If you just give me 1 moment, it shouldn't take too long. Right?
My problem is I'm not convinced you're giving me a lawful directive.
Okay.
And I obey all lawful directives.
Okay.
So if we can go look at that sign and clarify, then we can take it from there.
So then I will give you a lawful directive to stay here, right? And I will be back momentarily, and we can continue our discussion, and we can go look at the sign. There's also a sign right here as well.
Probably.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna go look at that. I didn't look at that sign, so I'm gonna look at that.
Okay. Did you want to? If you don't mind, just standing right here.
I'm just gonna go look at that sign.
There. Like I said, right now
you were being cool up until now. I don't know why you're switching up on me. But I'm gonna go right over here and look at that sign. Whatever you got to do, you got to do.
I don't want you to get the impression that I'm not being cool, but I need you to stay over here on the sidewalk, sir.
Let me at least
Okay.
stop traffic for you if you're gonna walk across.
Is it urgent, or can we?
I would like to address it.
Okay.
Yeah, just really quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk right over to that sign.
If you don't mind, just hang out here and.
No, I do mind. Like I told you, I just turned 50 yesterday, and I got a hard time with being told to sit.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna walk
right. I just need you to hang out over here, sir.
Whatever you do, don't put your hands on me.
I'm not trying to.
Do not put your hands on me.
So we got directed from the commander.
I'm just going to read your sign.
Can I just talk to you really quick right here, me and you?
Go ahead.
I gave you my information earlier, right?
Okay.
So the information we just got from our leadership is what I'm trying to address to you. Our commander says if you guys cross that demarcation line that Investigator Santiago pointed out to you earlier.
There is no demarcation line.
There sure is.
No, there's not.
So that's public record. You guys can look it up just because you haven't.
Your demarcation. Listen, it's the military, so there's rules and regulations on what a demarcation line is supposed to be, and you know what that is.
Correct.
You don't have a demarcation line.
Okay. So possible, but
no, absolute. Let's be honest with each other. Let's be truthful.
That's fair.
There is no demarcation line, and you know that.
Because
you guys are trying to create one impromptu, and I get what you're doing, but there is no demarcation line.
Can't see
Your demarcation line is that black chain link fence.
No, sir, it's not.
It is.
It is not, sir.
It is. And I don't think your commander wants you to violate my rights. I'm walking on publicly accessible property right here. Listen, anybody that pulls in off of that street can pull into here and pull up to your gate, and if they're turned around, they're turned around. But nobody's out here turning them around at any demarcation line.
That is also correct.
Of course it's correct.
I'm not debating you on that.
And you guys have no idea what my knowledge is how far this goes, is what I know and what I don't know. So tell me the truth, be straight with me, be honest with me. We're 20 feet away from that sign. I just want to go read that sign.
Yes,
and
sir.
all of a sudden you're putting your hand out trying to physically stop me from
I
walking.
told you that I would take you to the sign so you could read it, but
I don't need to be taken. It's right here
by yourself.
Sure,
you
I can
are
watch.
On the installation, sir. So you're gonna end up being detained.
How am I going to be detained? I'm walking up to this sign right here.
You're on
10 feet,
property.
look.
You are trespassing on the military installation.
I'm not trespassing. Your sergeant just admitted to me that there's no demarcation line.
The demarcation line is back there. You are on
so
the
look what it
property,
says.
So you are subject.
It is unlawful to enter this area without permission.
sir.
Enter this area. Going forward from this sign.
That
Yes.
line is actually up there.
I'm going to challenge on that.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay here.
All right, sir. So are you gonna refuse to head back to the line, sir?
Once somebody establishes for me where that boundary is,
And I have established that.
and it's clearly marked, when it's clearly marked and visible, then I will be happy to stay on that side of it. Right now, what's clearly marked and visible is this sign.
Yes, sir. If you don't proceed back to that line, you can be detained for trespassing, sir.
No, I can't.
Yes, sir.
Even if I was trespassing, what you would have to do is give me a trespass warning, and then if I refuse to leave, then you could detain me.
Sir, so...
You haven't given me a trespass warning.
All right, sir. So you need to head back there before you're a trespasser.
If you need to trespass me, then trespass. If you want to trespass me from right here, that's your option. You can certainly do that.
Okay.
Do it the proper way, and I will, under duress, leave.
Okay.
Okay, and then and then I'm going to contact my attorney, and you're going to have a lawsuit on your hands.
The desk that they're not complying to move back to the line.
And notify your commander that if you violate my rights, I'm going to sue you, and that's not what I'm here for.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is a very clear sign.
That they will be processed as trespassing. They continue to stand in this location.
That's your copy.
You guys really need to put that line out there visible, and then I would honor what you're telling me.
So that's something we can absolutely route up through the chain.
And you've already admitted to me on film that it's not properly marked. So you better be. All I want to say to you guys is, and listen to the age of the wisdom of age here.
Yes, sir.
Be very careful about how you proceed, okay? Because you're walking on very delicate ground, okay? And I don't want you to go there. I'm trying to avoid that. But let's even give up the signs that are on your gate there. I'll even take it a step back further, because here's a sign that's even closer to the road. I'll go by this sign. But
Security, Mike.
this is the first sign indicating anything going on beyond a point. There is nothing back this way. Anybody off of that road is free to turn onto this street.
So, like I said, I'm just letting you know, sir, that line is the line of demarcation.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, if you trespass me off this property, you've already given me all the evidence I need to prove that there is no demarcation line.
Okay.
Okay? And
But I
if you
also
violate my,
told you where it
just
was.
know that if you violate my rights, you're going to lose your qualified immunity, okay? And I'm going to go after you personally.
Okay.
Because you're the one making these decisions.
Yes,
and
sir.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
So think about what you're doing. Talk to your commander. Get it straight. Make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's and do everything properly, because I have.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to go there with you. I'd rather you just say, you know what? As of right now, today, the demarcation line is here because that's what's visibly marked.
No, sir.
There
the
is no other
demarcation
mark.
line is what I showed you back there.
You didn't show me anything. You showed me a green pole with a white reflector on it in the middle of a grass field.
I informed you, sir, that is a demarcation.
You could inform me that that brick is a demarcation line.
But I did not. I informed you that that was actually the line of demarcation.
Well, that is if that is your line of demarcation as you're claiming it is, it doesn't meet the military standard of what a demarcation line is.
Yes, sir. And that's something that can absolutely.
And you agree with that?
What I'm saying is that could absolutely be routed higher to have that adjusted.
Well, I think it's important that you fix it. And I even went out of my way to explain to you, we're here to find the good and the bad.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I thanked you very much for your cordial demeanor, your professionalism. Okay, but I'm also here to point out what's not correct.
Right.
You are trying to enforce a boundary that's invisible, that doesn't exist, that gives the general public no indication of where it is. You have to understand that. Okay? And that is not going to float. This sign says if you go past this sign, you will be subject to search, you'll be subject to whatever. So this is a line. That's not a line.
They're bringing a map to show you, and I understand your concerns from earlier about how it's not marked. You're correct, and Investigator Santiago explained to you that that's something we definitely can work on, and we will.
Right.
But we're going to bring you a map for today to show you. That way it's something you have. Our guys are working on that right now to print it out and route it up.
All right, so you told me before, and I appreciate that,
Yes,
but you told me before that this is a known issue,
Yes.
right? How long has it been a known issue?
So I don't have that answer.
You don't want him to answer.
Well,
Let's be honest with each other, and if we're not going to be honest, just say, listen, I can't be straight with you.
I
Because
know.
my job prevents me from doing that.
No,
But
sir, honestly,
is it more than a month? More than 6 weeks?
If I was a betting man, I would say yes.
Okay,
But
so
I don't know the exact
okay, so
details.
odds are, from the best of your recollection, there has been an improperly displayed demarcation line in front of this gate for at least a month. Why isn't anybody fixing that?
We don't have that answer for you. Sir.
Because had that have been fixed, we wouldn't be standing here having this conversation. I'd be on the other side of your demarcation line, and you would have probably never even come out because I would have voluntarily stayed on that side of the line.
And that's
right?
something we're going to address today.
How are you going to address it today? So am I going to stand here and watch you put in it? Somebody going to spray paint it on the street?
Possible. Like
Okay.
I said, we're all
If we could do
gonna
that, that'd be
today.
great.
I don't know the details of what. That's not going to be.
And you know what? I could just tell by the way you're talking, you're a very sensible individual and you're very professional.
I appreciate that.
Okay, and you're very, you have an undertone of trying to de-escalate, trying to be fair and reasonable, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Well,
Because that's all anybody wants to be. You know, that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
And I don't think I've treated you guys with any disrespect or I've been inappropriate
I
with
get
you
you
at
want
all.
answers. Absolutely, and you want to make sure things are getting done
There's
properly.
control
Well, especially when I'm being threatened with trespass or possibly violating some sort of criminal
Well,
code.
at this point, I'm just trying to show you guys what you're requesting is your demarcation line.
And
that's
that's
the route we're taking.
I think that's a better route than threatening me with trespass. You've already established that. You've already even verbalized that you've established that I'm not a threat.
Right, absolutely.
Your threat training is astronomical, so you could smell a threat from around the corner, I'm sure. And you know that I'm not a threat,
Thank you.
right? And you guys seem very professional. You seem like you know what you're doing. So basically, I'm here to help you.
Right.
Because let's get this thing marked out. Let's get this figured out, and then you won't have this conversation with anybody again. It would do you good.
Right.
I
Right?
agree. I agree.
But just shooing me off and trying to intimidate me and make me go away, this is going to happen again.
So,
Right, so maybe-
to shoot you off. Like, I would love to continue the conversation there because, like I said, we're not here to violate your rights. We can continue a conversation.
But there's really no difference. You got, I have 3 armed men standing here in front of me. I'm not armed. I don't, no threat to you whatsoever.
right.
So I'm not presenting a threat. I'm even on this side and you're on that side blocking your line. Because as far, you have your opinion where this demarcation line is. You might even have something to back that up in your mind that you've seen on a map. Okay? But from where I'm standing in the real world, based on fact, this is my demarcation line.
Okay.
There is nothing else. I don't know what an orange dot, how is anybody supposed to know that's not in the military what an orange dot on the ground is?
And that
That could be a
reasonable.
surveyor.
That's, right. Absolutely.
That could be the water company was out here and they're going to put a new line in. Maybe there's an electric transformer box going in. I don't know what that is.
And we're not disagreeing with you.
And you have to admit that you could tell me anything is that line, and in the hopes that I'll just buy it and go away. And that's the easiest, it's like electricity. You just take the path of least resistance and try to get it over.
Like someone could sit here and lie to you, but I'm not in the business of lying. I know.
Well,
you
we don't know
me
each
from
other.
anyone.
Yeah, we don't know each other.
Right,
And I don't believe you are in the business of lying. I don't
Right.
think you would have achieved your position
Right.
being a completely dishonest person.
Yes, sir.
But by nature of your position, you are authorized to be dishonest when needed.
Right.
Right? So it's not that you have to understand. I don't have any issues with law enforcement. That we don't have a problem with law enforcement.
And I don't get that vibe.
But we just can't trust you
Right.
100%. And I think you understand that. The general public really, if somebody just walks around with blind faith in law enforcement and just has 100% confidence that law enforcement's always telling them the truth after the Supreme Court ruled that they can lie to you, that would be a foolish endeavor for me. And I've been around the block one too many times.
Would you do me one favor? If I could talk to you for a second. If you guys would just hang out right here.
I'll stay right here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have no intention of going because this is a demarcation line to me.
Right. I appreciate your cooperation.
So I'll stay right here. You got it. And once again, they leave Johnson holding the bag. And you really should, not to get, and I'm sorry, it was Tech Sergeant Johnson? Not to give you a hard time at all, but you really should identify yourself properly. I'm not saying right now, you've already told me that you won't, so I give up very easily, but you're obligated to identify yourself, and I think you should. I think it's important, and I think you should be proud of who you are. I think you should be proud of the stripes you earned, and you should be proud that you have a U.S. military serial number, and that's what you do for a living. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And I think you also exercise a lot more of authority by properly identifying yourself. You know, kind of a half, oh yeah, it's Tech Sergeant Johnson, blah, blah. You know, when a police officer approaches me and I ask them to identify themselves, they'll say, Officer Smith, badge 226. That's your policy, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I know for a fact that that's your policy as well, when you're acting in your capacity as a guard here on the, as security here on the base, right? So don't worry about your privacy so much. It's easy to find out. I could find out how much you make a year. I could find out a lot of information about you, and I'm not really even interested in any of that. And I'm not saying I'm going to. I could find out your serial number. I could find out everything about you. I could find out your whole history with the military. So not giving your ID number, it just kind of makes you look silly, to be honest with you. So just a little feedback from me. You can take it for what it's worth. And you still have an opportunity to do that if you decide you want to. I don't hold a grudge. It's just professional. And you seem like a professional guy, so why ruin it with something silly like that? You know, if I was asking you your home address or what your kids' names were, you could tell me to go kick rocks and I would understand that 100%. But when I ask you your name and serial number, name and identification number, that's you're obligated to give that. And your emotions shouldn't come into play and distract you from what your duties are. You know? That's part of the reason we're here.
So it sounds like they found it. They're working on printing it out right now.
Okay.
So it should be a few minutes.
But you know, and that's all well and good, but where do we get that marked so the public can see it?
Right, and that's the next step. That'll be the next step once we get it. You brought up something that should be addressed. And I'll do my best on my end to try and address it.
Okay.
I don't know who's going to listen to me. I will do my best
to
route it. But that's not going to be security forces per se. That'll be more of another entity that'll take care of that aspect.
No, and I appreciate that. And you're being, like I said, I get a very good sense out of you. And I get you're an honest guy, and you seem like you come across, you're not trying to pull any wool over anybody's eyes.
No.
But what I want you to realize is if you guys had taken the step of actually trespassing me from where I'm standing right now, you would open yourself up to a huge civil liability.
So that's not the intent. That wasn't the intent. We just wanted to.
Well, I was told I was going to be trespassed.
Right. So.
And I understand that's an intimidation technique.
No, not.
That's why I didn't leave.
That wasn't
I get
my intent. That wasn't.
No, not you.
So
the inspector.
That was so the reason. So those are our demarcation lines, right? So this is what we're taught, right?
Okay.
From a public eye, you brought up a good point. We know that they're there. Does everybody else know? Probably not. So at that point, you don't know that you're trespassing, right? So my job right now, I'm going to come bring out this proof to show you that you're trespassing. I'm going to give you the demarcation line with the base boundary.
Okay.
That way you see exactly the perimeter and you see the exact demarcation line that he's referring to.
Okay.
Because there's no sense in me charging you with trespassing. It doesn't make sense.
When you won't be able to prove it.
If you don't know that you're trespassing.
Right.
There's no. So that's our job. That's
very reasonable of you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What are you thinking, Watchmen? Well, no, really. Where do you think you think this is the line up here by the sign, or you believe what they're telling us about it being back there by the road?
It doesn't make sense to me that it would be just a pole with a reflector on it.
Well, first he said it was an orange dot on the ground, and then he said it was a pole with a white reflector. Yeah. And those two things are in two different places as well. So I think he's even confused about where it is.
All right, cool. So just got direction from our commander.
Okay.
Demarcation line's that spot over there. As law enforcement official, we respect your rights. However, we're giving you a direct order to step back off federal.
I thought I was going to be shown a map.
They can't bring one out. They can't bring one out for whatever reason. So what I need you to do, if you can step back there, I will bring one out to you. That will be my goal today. I will print one out for you, but I need you to step back there or you will be detained right now for trespassing.
Okay, well, you can't detain me for trespass. That's not the way that works. But what I'll do is I will walk out with you right now, if that's okay with you, okay? You show me where you believe this demarcation line is, okay? And then you promise me that you're going to bring a map out there. We'll verify that that's where it is, and I'll get out of your hair.
Let's do it.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Let's do it.
You got it.
Walk on out. So we're all about, we don't want to escalate things. We just want to.
If you want.
Thank you.
It's on the sidewalk on this side.
Okay. But now if it's not where it is and it winds up being back here, then we're going to come back.
Okay.
We'll adhere to your demarcation line for now. But then what I'm going to do is also, and probably, I know the military takes forever to get anything done.
I implore you to put in a request.
I'm not going to put in a request.
Okay.
You guys have already told me you would do that.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know how to do that more efficiently than I do. But what I am going to do is
Two requests is better than one request, is what I'll say.
Okay. Well, then maybe I will if you want me to.
I mean, absolutely.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in about a month or so and see if this demarcation line is here. And if not, we're going to wind up doing this whole thing all over again.
Sounds good. I'm going to try and bring this map out to you at a minimum. That's my goal today.
Okay.
All right, so this is the demarcation line. See, this is the public sidewalk.
Now, where's the orange dot?
The red dot is right here. On the sidewalk right up here.
Where is it?
Red dot. Boom. Red, orange. Goes across. See it?
All right, so.
Boom, 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 all the way across.
Sergeant Gustafson?
That's me.
Sergeant Gustafson, you're telling me that this orange dot is the demarcation line?
Correct, all the way across.
Okay. Inspector...
Investigator Santiago.
Investigator Santiago is telling me that it is that green post with the white reflector on it.
And that's my job today. I'm going to go get you some clarification.
So you see where the confusion is.
I'm going to come back out too.
So now,
you get that?
which in order to not trespass me and detain me, which line are you going by?
The commander said this line. He said the dots right here, this is the line he wants you guys behind.
So does that mean that you're incorrect if the commander's saying it's this line?
I am incorrect, absolutely.
Okay, so the fact that you're incorrect about where it is means that the commander might be incorrect about where it is, and means that I might have just been trespassed for obviously for no reason. So we need to get this map like
that's what I'm gonna
immediately.
If you could stand by right here.
How long do you think that'll take you?
I'm gonna do my best. They said they know where it's at. I just gotta tweak it a little bit and bring it back out. I'm not gonna change any lines.
What do you have to do? Redact a few?
I gotta take building numbers off, stuff like that.
Okay.
I gotta delete some buildings, but you'll see the base.
Where that demarcation line is.
Okay.
Make sense?
How we doing?
Good.
Good.
Are you employees?
Yes, sir. You mind? Take a step back. I'll come back up and talk.
Whatever you got to do. All right, guys. So we have Aurora Police Department just showed up, and it's vehicle number 92218.
Now they are. Absolutely. I have no reason to believe.
These police officers took a long time to get here.
So we are gonna route up, hopefully to the proper authorities and proper channels.
Okay.
To make it something more distinctive there, or whatever guidance or regulation there is. Like I said, I don't know what the specific regulation is in the sense of what demarcation line has to be what. And if it's something that we're all going to be educated on, we're all going to be educated on.
Okay, good.
Like I said.
And like I said to you, we just want to follow the rules. So if your demarcation line is this orange dot, you'll never see me on that side of it again.
Okay.
If it's not,
And we're gonna.
Guess where I'm going?
You're gonna go to wherever it said it was.
Exactly. Right.
And
that's all.
And that's fine. And
That's all.
that is your right.
Because in order to, like I said, in order to enforce a boundary, we need to know where it is.
Right.
That's all. It's as simple as that.
Understand.
Because on a different day, a different person could say it's in a different place, and then that becomes very subjective, and that creates liability for everybody.
What are you guys trying to accomplish?
What are we trying to accomplish? Taking some video. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
You guys are cool dudes as long as you're not obstructing traffic. We don't
See, now you spoke to me. Now I need your name and badge number as well. No, and we're not trying to cause any problems. What we're trying to do is take video and photographs from publicly accessible areas.
That's fine.
That's it.
Like I said, as long as you're not obstructing traffic or committing a crime, then we have no problem.
Exactly right. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Do you need us any longer?
No, sir. We don't. Thanks for coming out, guys.
And the second Aurora police vehicle that pulled up is 91211. And the two officers we just spoke to are Officer Gramsey, Gramse, and Officer Rivas, Rivas, of the Aurora Police Department. This is one of the officers that was just here, BSG 011, Colorado.
Okay, so
Yes.
we're trying to see what we can about the map.
Okay.
But the best way to get a map, probably the quickest, is to go through Public Affairs and put in a request through Public Affairs. And if that's not quick enough, put in a Freedom of Information Act request for that map to get the best accurate map there.
Okay, I hear that, but I already know where it is. I've already done my homework. Basically what's going on here is you guys need to figure out where it is.
Okay.
Because you're sergeant, okay? And I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I just want to get to the bottom of something, okay? So your sergeant indicated that we're looking at this orange dot. Okay, earlier you indicated that it's that green fence post with the white reflector on it. That's probably about 40 to 50 feet difference. So between the two of you, you're confused of where it is. So how do I figure that out? And then you telling me where it is one of you can't both be right. It can't both be at this orange dot and over at that green post.
Right.
So one of you is wrong. So who do I listen to?
So the red or orange, whatever color it is, that's going directly across the road. That's the demarcation line.
Well, that's what you're telling me.
Right.
But Sergeant, this is what Sergeant Gustafson said.
Right,
it was.
and
So then why did you tell me it was the other line before? See, in a half an hour we just moved the demarcation line, right?
I was mistaken.
This is the problem.
There.
This is the problem.
Right.
And there's this preconceived notion that anybody out doing First Amendment audits, and I'm not saying you're wrong, or I'm not saying you're right, but there's a preconceived notion that anybody out doing First Amendment audits are just a bunch of yahoos trying to kick up dirt in people's faces and create problems. So I don't think you got that feeling from me today.
Not at all.
And that's not what we're all doing. Some of us are actually out here looking to affect change. Okay? And the most effective...
And what I would tell you is you are absolutely going to affect change.
Well, and the most effective way to affect change, historically, is through civil disobedience.
The best bet is to contact Public Affairs and go through Public Affairs. And if Public Affairs is not quick enough, then a Freedom of Information Act.
How do I do all that before I get trespassed? How does that resolve my situation today?
I'm not sure how it would resolve your situation, but that's honestly the best course of action is to go through PA and Freedom of Information Act if we're unable to get you that map.
Well, you're already telling me you're not, right?
I didn't say we're not. I said we're working, but it's not guaranteed that...
Oh, so there is a chance they might still be bringing it out?
Quite possibly.
Doesn't sound like it, but okay. All right, so what is your commander's name that's giving you this information? Because I'm going to need to contact his office as well.
Okay, it'll be Major Fairnash.
Major Fairnash. How do you spell that?
I know you have a notebook. I can write it down for you.
Sure, absolutely. You want to just put it on one of the back of the officer's card here? You can put it right on the front.
Okay. Can I borrow a pen?
Need a pen? Yeah. We got to get you prepared.
Wow, this is a nice pen.
Yeah.
One of the bullet pens?
Space pen. Writes upside down underwater.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And it fits in my wallet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so what's going to happen now is, because I get the sense that the map's not coming out, and that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off, and I'm going to, as long as you can promise me that with all due diligence, you're going to work on this situation and get it corrected.
Absolutely.
Because it's been this way for over a month.
Absolutely.
And over a month to me means it's always been this way. Because there was never a demarcation line here. So this is a permanent situation that's been like this for a very long time, right?
Amber alert?
Injured police officer. Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, so no, if you, what I'll do is I want to meet you in the middle, like I've been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
If you
I appreciate
can look
that.
me in the eye and assure me that you are going to use all due diligence and get this figured out to the best of your abilities.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I mean that, because I know you can't just come out here and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Or at least get some plan of action in place, or even if they just come out here and put one signpost with a small sign that says demarcation line.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything,
I can
something.
tell you that the minute I depart here and we depart, I'm going to go ahead and begin to work that issue.
Okay. Do you have a business card by any chance?
So if you want to wait out here, I can head back to my office, get a business card.
Or you could
Provide it to
just give me your name and ID.
Yeah, it's going to be Investigator Angel Santiago. My ID is Sierra 8052.
Okay, 0852. Just so I have that again.
I can actually write it down for you if you want me
That's
to.
fine. It's on the
Okay.
it's on the video.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave for now, based on the fact that you and I had a gentlemanly conversation, and you're assuring me you're going to look into this.
I
Okay?
absolutely am.
So today is, because this is how I do things. Today is the 18th of December. Okay, I'm going to come back on the 18th of January. Okay, and we're going to do this all over again.
Okay.
And if I come out here and there's a demarcation line here, or anything indicating to me that this is the demarcation line, that's an official sign or indicator, I'll respect that and I'll stay on this side of it. Okay. If there's nothing here, we're going to go through this whole shindig all over again. And at that point, I will be willing to be trespassed, arrested, whatever you want to do.
Okay. And I appreciate your being upfront and honest.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and work that issue.
Okay.
All right. Would you be willing to shake my hand?
Absolutely. I'd
right.
love to.
It was.
If we knew each other better, I'd give you a hug.
It was nice talking to you.
All right,
guys.
buddy. Same here.
I'm going to work that issue. Okay.
And the last thing I want you to promise me is, which has nothing to do with the whole
Educate
conversation
our
we just had,
patrolmen.
they need to identify themselves properly.
I've already got that in my mind, so go ahead back.
That's
and have
it,
a
because
conversation.
that's a big liability for you.
Right.
You know, so it's an easy step to take. But you've been a true gentleman, and I thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
You gentlemen have been very compliant. and
Thank you very much.
Willing to work with us.
Alrighty. Well, we
All
might
right.
not be that way next time, so let's get it right.
I'm tracking. Yeah,
All right, brother.
absolutely. Take
Thank you
care,
very much.
gentlemen.
You have a good day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Same to you. Well, all right, guys. That was our experience here at Buckley Air Force Base in Aurora, Colorado. We'll see how it all works out in a month. Hopefully you guys, I'm sure you all will, but I invite everyone to chime in and give us your opinions, give us your thoughts and questions, your ideas, anything you want to share with us, and we'd be happy to hear what you have to say. We look forward to it. So I guess that's going to be it for today, guys. We definitely will be following up. We'll be back. We'll be in communication with our new friends here, and we'll take it from there. So, coming to you from Aurora, Colorado, Buckley Air Force Base, watching the Watchmen, Amagansett Press. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Out.